Metamorphosize first.
I early on caught on to the idea of a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. And when I knew I wanted to do those kind of transformations in the show and have that happen before people's eyes, only God can do that. You know, only nature can make a caterpillar into a butterfly. Man, we can't do that. We don't know how to do that. So we're gonna have to use a little bit of trickery. And that's when I realized we need an illusion designer.
I think West had a really inspired idea with Metamorphosis because that's, you know, when you say the word metamorphosis, that means a lot to a magician because that's one of the things that we're involved in, is something that changes into something else. But it also ties into a bigger picture of the world. I mean, we can look at this as a kind of magical thing, but it's also something that's happening every day in the natural world. So when you say metamorphosis, it instantly makes magic in the real world. And I think that's really what the theme of this year's circus is all about.
The theme of Metamorphosis has been a creative toy box for me because physically as a choreographer, I'm able to work with an act and then it can morph into another act.
Well, wait, what if he just went like this and opened the top of his hat?
To metamorphose them in one way, and then they turn into another physicality another way, just because I know they also
One of the advantages this year is working with John Kennedy Kane, and John is a very experienced magician besides being a ringmaster. I mean, that's really something he's been doing all his life. So I think one of the great surprises to me is a fit with John, because John has an understanding of magic that's very, very deep and really sensible, and he's been already way ahead of us in terms of how it fits into the world of circus. So when we start collaborating on magic, John has a lot to bring to it instantly, and as the person who's going to be standing there doing it, standing there working with the performers, that's the advantage that I look for, is to be able to trust my magic to a professional like that.
When people asked, well, who's gonna be the magician in the show? I said, John's gonna be the magician in the show. And he's fantastic at it. It's delightful to watch some of his tricks, and some of them are so bad, they're very good. I could not do this show without Jenny Vidbell. Jenny Vidbell is my earliest collaborator on Big Apple Circus shows. As soon as I get hired, I go to Jenny with the idea, I tell her what I'd like to do, and then she starts creating an animal act for the season.
She has such a wonderful expertise with so many different kinds of animals that it fits not only the circus part well, but what we found is that it fit the magic part of the circus perfectly as well. We have an advantage this year in bringing the Smirnoffs to the Big Apple Circus. And the Smirnoffs are an amazing duo. And I think their quick change act, which is an act of constant metamorphosis, one after the other, is really one of the most magical elements of the show. And it's been a pleasure for me to just watch them and be able to contribute a little bit to their staging and to their act.
The Anastasini family is a 9th generation circus family. And then the sons, Giuliano and Fabio, do the Risley act, which is probably the best Risley act in the country and perhaps even in the world right now. They are at the top of their form.
Francesco, I mean, his energy, and he creates music from everywhere, and it's with his physicality, with his instruments, with no voice sometimes, and sometimes with a voice, and locking the two together of using the audience, using his instrument, using his body, using all of his, you know, just one motion, you know exactly what he means physically. And his energy is fantastic. So working with him has been an incredible experience.
The Aniskins are doing a trampoline act and a trapeze act in the show. They're wonderful acrobats and as nice as they are talented. And whether they're flipping in the air or on the land, it's always a joy to watch. Bisa, who is a contortionist, does something with Tato, which I don't want to give away because it's a surprising act, but on her own, Bisa does a great contortion in a cube, where she's able to take this long, lithe, lean body and contort it into a very tiny shape to fit inside a little box no larger than a bread box.
Tato, which is also Tatovic, she has so many tricks in her, and we will ask her to do something, she'll say, I'll try it, but completely different things, between contortion to juggling to walking on a ball to hula hooping to doing the rollabola, and you're just like, what more can you do? She's like, oh yeah, and I can...
Tato, and she won't mind me saying this, is adorkable. She is completely 100% adorkable. And she is our caterpillar who becomes a butterfly. When she gets up on her rollabola, it's amazing.
Oh, and she can't walk in high heels, by the way.
Oh, really?
Nope. No high heels.
Okay.
I
Nothing.
think what's exciting about this year's Big Apple Circus is that it's a new kind of magic. I've been able to bring a little bit of the old magic tradition to it, but it's been completely reinvented in a new form, and what you're going to see is this beautiful imaginary circus that you've never seen before, styled in a way that you've never seen it, with some of the greatest acts in circus today. So that combination of that whole world, the whole world created around these performers, it's been a pleasure to see that metamorphosis come together in the show, and I think everyone's going to enjoy it when they come and see it under the big top.